The Mirror of Truth, a story about mockery, ridicule, and honor. In the ancient land of Nuruddin, a peaceful valley lay between mountains that glowed with soft light at sunrise. The people of Nuruddin were known for fairness and dignity, but they carried one weakness that threatened their unity. Some of them had begun to mock one another. At first it seemed harmless, a small joke here or there, but slowly it grew into a danger that clouded their hearts. At the center of the valley stood a great school, where a wise teacher named Master Idris taught the people not only reading and writing, but the character that shaped noble hearts. One morning he entered the school hall carrying a large old mirror covered by a cloth. The students gathered around him, curious. "Today," he said, "you will learn about two of the most destructive behaviors that break societies, darken hearts, and awaken God's anger: mockery and ridicule. You will also learn what they truly mean, why people fall into them, and what becomes of those who practice them." He placed the mirror before them and began his lesson. Chapter 1: What Mockery and Ridicule Really Are. Master Idris lifted his staff and drew two circles in the sand. "In our language," he said, "mockery means belittling, demeaning, pointing out flaws in speech, gesture, or imitation, intending to make others laugh. It is an act that carries contempt. Ridicule is similar, but it often falls upon someone without cause. It is as though one attaches mockery to a person even when nothing was done to deserve it." He explained how ancient scholars described mockery as showing disrespect and belittlement, whether by imitating someone's words, actions, appearance, or gestures. Ridicule, they said, was to treat someone's dignity as a toy, turning seriousness into play. Mockery and ridicule are twins, Master Idris said, born of a heart that has forgotten compassion. The students listened carefully. Chapter 2: When Mockery First Entered Nuruddin. For many years, the valley lived in peace. But then a habit spread. People began to laugh at one another's appearances, their clothing, their way of speaking. Some gave others ugly nicknames. Others pointed at people behind their backs or made gestures meant to embarrass. Some mocked a man for his short height. Others laughed behind a woman's back because she spoke slowly. Children imitated the limp of an old farmer. Youths laughed at the man who stuttered in prayer. No one realized that mockery was not merely a joke. It was a seed of destruction that had already been warned about in Revelation long before their time. For God had said, "Let not one group mock another, for they may be better than them. Let not women mock other women. Do not insult one another. Do not call each other by offensive nicknames." Master Idris recited this to them and said, "The one who created you knows your worth. Who is anyone to belittle a soul God has honored?" Chapter 3: The Mirror of Truth. The students asked about the mirror. Master Idris said, "This mirror does not show faces. It reflects hearts. Whoever mocks another sees the stain of his own flaw upon himself." He removed the cloth. Inside the mirror, the children saw faint images. Each time someone mocked another, a dark mark appeared on their side of the mirror. They saw a boy who had laughed at his friend's stutter. A dark shadow appeared on his image, not his friend's. They saw a girl who had called another an ugly name. The mark appeared on her figure. For the mirror revealed a secret: when a person mocks another, he is in truth mocking himself, for believers are like one body. Chapter 4: The Voices of the Wise. Master Idris then shared the sayings of the ancient sages. One said, "If I mocked even a dog, I would fear becoming like it." Another said, "If I saw a man doing something strange and mocked him, I would fear being tested with the same." A third said, "Let your portion with every believer be this: if you cannot help him, do not harm him; if you cannot bring joy, do not bring sorrow; if you cannot praise, do not insult." These words settled deeply into the students' hearts. Chapter 5: When Mockery Becomes a Crime Against Faith. Master Idris then grew solemn. There are forms of mockery so grave, he said, that they break faith itself. He explained that ridiculing God, His words, His messenger, or the practices of the faith is not a small sin but an act of disbelief. It destroys the foundation of devotion, because faith is built on reverence and honor. He recited the verse. Was it God, His signs, and His messenger that you were mocking? Do not excuse yourselves. You have disbelieved after believing. But mocking believers for their devotion, he added, out of hatred for their religious obedience, is also a dangerous path. It may lead one to the edge of ruin. The students felt the weight of the lesson. Chapter 6: The Hidden Causes of Mockery. Then he spoke of the causes. Some mock out of arrogance. Some do it to tear others down. Some do it simply to entertain others, as if humiliation were a source of amusement. Some do it out of ignorance, or because they do not guard their tongues. He explained that mockery never comes from strength. It comes from an empty heart, a desire for attention, or the blindness of pride. Chapter 7: The Consequences that Follow the Mockers. Master Idris lifted his hand toward the mountains. Everything in creation has consequences, he said. And mockery brings heavy ones. He listed them. It destroys unity between people. It plants seeds of hatred. It creates lifelong grudges. It brings God's displeasure. It causes a person to lose their good deeds. It strips away dignity and noble character. It leads to blindness of the heart. It exposes the mocker to the same affliction he mocked. He said, mockery is a torch that burns every hand that holds it. Chapter 8: Forms of Mockery that People Forget. Master Idris then taught them the different shapes that mockery takes. Some mock with words. Some with gestures, eyes, or hand movements. Some with nicknames that wound the heart. Some through imitation of another's speech, walk, or appearance. Some by exposing faults or seeking people's mistakes. Some by ridiculing those who follow the path of goodness. All of these, he said, tear the fabric of a healthy community. Chapter 9: The Day the People of Nuruddin Learned Their Lesson. One day, a great storm struck the valley. Trees bent, windows shook, clouds roared. The people took shelter. When the storm ended, they emerged and found a message written on the mountainside, as though carved by the wind itself. Your mockery brought division. Your words wounded hearts. Your laughter became grief. Return to dignity, or lose what you love. The message frightened them. They gathered at the school begging Master Idris for guidance. He told them, mockery is not defeated by silence. It is defeated by honor. Promise that you will guard your tongues, protect the dignity of your neighbors, avoid offensive nicknames, stop hidden gestures, and do not search for people's faults. They promised sincerely. From that day on, the voice of mockery fell silent in the valley. People respected one another. They corrected their own hearts before correcting others. The mirror of truth began to shine brighter every day. Chapter 10: Master Idris' Final Words. On the last day of the year, Master Idris stood before his students and said, remember always. If you cannot lift someone, do not push him down. If you cannot speak honorably, remain silent. Mockery deceives the mocker. Ridicule harms its owner. The one you belittle today may be better than you in the sight of God. Dignity is the cloak of the believer. Never tear it from another. And so, the valley of Nuruddin became known throughout the lands as the Valley of Honor, where no child mocked another, no adult belittled another, and everyone walked with a heart free of contempt. For they had learned that true strength is not in laughing at others, but in protecting their dignity.